discuss, because you're a very professional guy in textiles and you're working in this sector for the last about 39 years or more than that.
Correct. 30.
Okay, 39 years. So, and you are in Bangladesh about 7 years?
7 years coming up.
Okay, so how did you find that these garments and this trade, how we are facing a problem? Because you have seen before this TDA and after TDA, and what is the effect, and what do you think the scenario of textiles and garments in Bangladesh?
Well, I think the real thing is that people have not had enough forethought to the ramifications of different things that go on throughout the textile world, which means that they haven't prepared or haven't tried to prepare in advance, where at the beginning of 2002, people are shouting about this, about that, about all these things, but this was well known. It's not as if it's something new. It's not as if somebody just turned around and made the decision today to allow China into the WTO as far as certain categories are concerned. And at the end of it, people should really watch what is going on in the world stage, because if they are not watching it, then they wake up one day and they find out that their market has disappeared.
But how you think that China, because well, of course
China right
China
now,
is,
but
the
very
water
big.
is shifting right now from this country to other countries like China's and the sub-Saharas. But what do you think about it?
Well, the thing is that if you take Bangladesh, and we are talking about Bangladesh, but it involves the whole of Asia. But if we talk about Bangladesh in particular, that you haven't got enough fully composite mills, and the mills that are there, their prices are not competitive as far as the world market is concerned. So when you get a situation where you ask for fabric and they'll say to you, is it for an EUR1 or is it for America? They give you two prices. They're actually charging you more because you export to Europe. So they are keeping that benefit for themselves. But the government actually gives them 25% benefit for the weavers. So they're keeping that and everything else. So the manufacturer is not getting any benefit. In fact, he's being penalized to the market.
But how did you find the scenario in Bangladesh? That we have a problem with our lead times and the procurement of fabric. But how much of your company procures fabric from outside, and how much you get it from
I would
here?
say basically it's 85% of our fabric is procured outside. There's two reasons for that. One is the fabric is not readily available in Bangladesh, and secondly is that the lead time is too long. Normally spoken, outside of Bangladesh you buy the fabric within 30 days, and 30 days for shipment, meaning the whole process from approval of lab dips to the fabric being in the factory is 60 days. Now if you go to a lot of the Bangladeshi manufacturers, fabric manufacturers, they will give you a lead time of 45 days, which already is 75% of what you can. And then you cannot depend on them to deliver it within 45 days.
Now, what can be the good reasons for that then?
I would say that the probable problem is that they are not planning, and they are not organizing, and they are just taking. It's not they are just accepting every order, but somebody is not sitting down every Monday and saying, okay, last week we got so much, so we are fully booked up to the middle of May. They are just accepting everything.
But they fail to make any commitment then?
They're basically
They're failing commitment. Have you experienced this?
I have, with different operations in Bangladesh.
That they fail to commit what they said?
Yes.
But don't you think for that it hampers your productivity in the fabric?
Well, it makes the decision on where to buy the fabric. If you have a choice that you can buy Bangladeshi or you can buy foreign imported fabric, then if you are working with a company that is not so reliable, then the point of it is it's safer to go and order it from China or Taiwan or Indonesia or wherever.
But if you look into the price, which one is better for you?
Well, normally the price is more competitive outside. So you have the double-barreled thing. You have the delivery and the price.
But you must have one problem, like if anything goes wrong with the fabric, if you import from abroad, you can't change it. But if anything goes wrong here, you have an opportunity to work on it again, and you can have a better things. Don't
Yeah,
you
but
think so?
this is one of the things why you have something called the business partnership, where you find suppliers that you have a good working relationship with, and it's called the partnership in these days. And what you do is you obviously when you first start, you have to go to the time and the trouble of sending somebody or having SGS inspect the goods. But once you build up this relation, then you have that relationship, right?
But do you face any problems like clearing the goods in Bangladesh? Whenever
Well,
you import something, do you face a tremendous problem there?
I would say as far as the port is concerned, it's reasonably efficient. I think it could be a lot more efficient, but it's reasonably efficient. But it is a shame that when I've said before that you allow 60 days from lab dip to in the factory, 50% of that time is actually on the shipping. Now you're talking that they are normally saying that it's 10 to 12 days to sail from Hong Kong. So it takes as long to clear the goods as it does to make the actual product.
But some of the people that says that this Bangladesh port is happened to be the most expensive port in the world because of corruptions. What is your thought about it?
Well, I mean, shortly after I came to Bangladesh, one night I couldn't sleep, and I actually calculated how much more expensive Bangladesh was to a country that I had just worked in. And Bangladesh was 7 times more expensive.
You're talking about the port, the clearance and everything?
The customs, that
7 times more than
more
the previous,
expensive.
previous
this
country?
This is what is known as the bukshish, right?
Known as the bukshish. But
So-
what was the previous country that you're talking about?
Mauritius.
The Mauritius is much
Yeah.
better and efficient and cheaper?
Well, I'm just saying that the cost, the added costs, shall we say, are a lot cheaper, because I think this is one of the problems that you have in Bangladesh.
So if that price goes up, naturally the price of a product goes up too, right?
Yeah, because you have to bear it. You
Yeah,
know?
so then you can't give a competitive pricing.
Well, you can't, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you take it over the year, it is a percentage. It is 2-3% of your total turnover, right?
So
And-
well, it's a good amount. Like if you
It is
think
a-
about it, 2 to 3% of your
Yeah.
total turnover is a pretty high, don't you think so?
It's far too high. But unfortunately, that is what's going on in the country.
But how do you think right now the status of the orders, as long as your company as well as the other companies too?
Well, we now have a situation where people are desperate for orders. Everybody is phoning all the buying houses, all the local agents up. People are of the opinion that the orders have dropped, but the situation is that the orders have dropped, but now everybody is fighting for the orders. So when you basically talk about a CM price, that people are cutting each other's throats to get orders, and the price is lowered, which is wonderful news for the buyers, but it's no good for the people who have invested in companies and have employees to give work to and all the rest of it. It's very,
But
very
I
difficult.
heard that there is very, rather you says, nothing of orders for a jacket, a padded jacket.
No, I mean, with the WTO thing, all the jackets, from my understanding, I mean, we do 250 to 300,000 jackets per season.
Is it with the padded one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the moment, at the end of January, I'm sitting with 2 orders for a total of about 5,000 jackets.
Only.
That's all.
But oh my God. So what do you think about this total scenario? Is it all gone to China?
It's all gone to China.
What can be the good reason that China got all the orders instead
Because Well, first of all, they don't have a quota problem now because they are quota free, and we shall just talk, say, about the European market. So they're quota free, and they have the infrastructure to get the fabric locally. So if we say that China was selling a jacket last year for $6, maybe $2.5, $3 of that was paid for quota. So now the actual jacket only costs them $3 or $3.50 to make. And that is where they have the benefit over countries like Bangladesh.
So if they are going to offer, which one is at $3, what can be your offer from here?
About $6.
So it's just half.
Yes.
But how do you find out the quality of China? Because you have
No, but this
you got a
is-
chance to go and have a look around. But how did you find compared to our quality and the Chinese?
At this moment, I mean, we are talking in general terms.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
there are good factories in China, right? But we say that a lot of it are new factories, or factories who now all of a sudden have orders where they've been working very little in the past. So I believe that China, a lot of the people who are buying things for America, for Europe, will have quality problems.
They will have quality problems.
Yes.
But that means we have a good quality. We
You
already
have a better quality than China at this point, but everything is governed by price.
yeah, that's absolutely, because the whole market is a price sensitive market.
And the other problem is that the buyers know about the problems in countries like Bangladesh. And remember, we're talking about Bangladesh, but this is a whole region problem. It's many countries on this. And I mean, Sri Lanka had a limit on their CM price. We just say, for instance, that they weren't allowed to sell anything under $8 for CM. Since the new government have just come in, they have allowed that to come down. So all of a sudden Sri Lanka, who was not a competitor price-wise of Bangladesh, now is becoming very competitive.
That's great. But if you, okay, Mr. Kevin, because you know you have a wide experience and you got a chance to work many companies and many countries, even you worked in EPZ. How did you find difference working in EPZ and working outside?
Well, the EPZ, you had a situation where the people that were running the EPZ were not business-minded people. They weren't looking for the commercial aspects of it. Like, you know, you could get the thing where the customs would not allow you to export till at night. So maybe you had the container packed and it wouldn't leave till 7, 8 o'clock at night, and it would stand all day, so you lost a day there. It was the same with importations. Things from the airport, they weren't allowed to be cleared or brought in till at night, and many strange things like this.
But what was the benefit that you can see other than these constraints is better in EPZ, like a foreign investors, that what we are talking right now, that we want to have them in EPZ. But what can be the good thing that being you are also one of the CEO of a German company? What are the best things to be there?
I would say, I mean, obviously you have a certain working environment which was applicable 6 years ago, but now if you go to Sava EPZ, the doors are open and it's like a bazaar. Buses go in, which wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
People are wandering around.
So they are changing, do you think?
I think they're changing, and you don't see the control that there was 6 years ago.
You think that the control has gone down?
The control has gone down, so you have a lot of activities going on which weren't allowed previously.
But how did you find working outside EPZ? Like you're working right now?
No, I find it much
more comfortable?